All right. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the club elections. We're going to be going through 7 candidates. Please take your time to listen to all of these candidates. And for those who are watching the recording, the voting link should be somewhere in announcements. We'll be sending out the link to announcements after the meeting. Thank you very much. And I guess I'll get started. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Laurence Garcia, and some of you guys may know me as Larry. I am currently running for e-board for 2022 to 2023 for secretary, treasurer, and president. Why is it not going? There we go. So a little introduction about myself. I am a second-year computer science major, something a bit rare in the game development industry. I am also currently the secretary of the Game Development Club. I am a Blender 3D modeler, and I like to make some YouTube videos on the side. And some of you guys may know me as the blue guy on Discord, who's always sending the announcements. Some of my favorite games right now include Kid Icarus Uprising, Risk of Rain 2, and Persona 5 Royal. These are all amazing games, and I recommend them to all of you guys. Here are some honorable mentions for some other games I like. And yes, and thank you. All right, and now I kind of want to go into the projects that I've led. I've co-led 2 projects and led 1 project on my own. I've led Labyrinth Run, We Play Tanks, and Angle of Attack. Currently, I'm co-leading Angle of Attack with my friend Raymond. These are some other projects I've worked on. I've worked on 2 game jams and 1 from my fall semester when I first joined. Now, you're probably wondering what really qualifies me as someone to be running for any of these positions. Well, first off, I want to start off by explaining why I'm running to begin with. This club has given a lot to me, and I want to give back to it, especially like friends and stuff like that. It's really the main reason why I have a social life here at Pomona. So I think the best way to give back to the club is by being the club's president. And first off, I am already currently a member of the board through being secretary. I understand the ins and outs and how we run everything behind the scenes. I also understand the organizations that we have to respond to and how to interact with those organizations like Science Council or ASI. I've also had experience in leading a Boy Scout troop of over 50 scouts. This experience has translated into the different events, the different like larger scale events that I've done in scouting, and it also, I believe it could translate well into the presidency with stuff like game jams or socials. I'm also very responsive to feedback from other people, whether it's my e-board, the team, or any of you guys. Just let me know if you guys want something or something didn't quite go how you expected it. Let me know, and then we'll be sure to change that. And then as for secretary and treasurer, a lot of my points from president still remain onto secretary and treasurer, but I also want to emphasize some other points. I've also worked on various meetings and workshops, such as the Blender meeting, the Unity movement meeting, and the GitHub repository. I also consider myself very well organized, and I have strong communication skills. This includes the time of getting Josh from Avenda Health to come to one of our meetings as a guest speaker. And now I want to talk about my vision for the Game Development Club. Most importantly, I want this club to be inclusive for all members, regardless of ethnicity, race, sexuality, gender, and disability. I want everyone to feel welcome, and I want everyone to know that they too can create games regardless of background. And along with that theme of inclusivity, I also want to talk about the sense of community in the club. I think we do a great job in trying to include everyone that we can with the Game Development Club, but I think we could do more. First off, I want to start off with in-person workshops. In-person workshops, so the current way we have workshops right now is sort of just everyone's muted on a Discord call except for the person speaking. I think we could do better than that. We can start off by having in-person workshops. It's sort of more a collaborative experience, and I'm sure you guys have felt that as we've transitioned more in person with some of your in-person classes, and it sort of helps everyone out. I think the second thing that we can do is stuff like club socials. Because of COVID, we actually haven't really had the chance to do much of these. And I'll let you in on a little secret. We actually have a transportation fund that we haven't been utilizing for the past 2 years. I plan to start utilizing that fund more next year, and hopefully we can have more events so you can know people like within the club rather than just, oh, I worked with them from the Game Development Club. You can say, oh, maybe we went to an arcade or some bowling night or something like that. And finally, and my most important point, connections with the industry. I think I think the club should most importantly be fun, but also is a great opportunity to find out if you want to actually go into this career. I want to do this through 3 ways. First of all, I want to rebuild our relationship with the SGDA, which is the Student Game Developer Alliance. This is sort of a collection of clubs in California that all focus on game development. And it's a way for you guys to meet other people outside of Pomona. I think that's a wonderful opportunity. Second of all, guest speakers. I think Josh from Avenda Health was a great first start in terms of getting guest speakers, but I think we could do more, especially from people within the industry itself. You get to hear their stories, we get to hear how they got into the industry, and most importantly, you guys can decide whether if you guys just want to do this as a hobby or something as a full career. And last but not least, I want to visit some game studios. When I first joined the club, some of the alumni now would have told me, it's like, oh, before COVID, we actually went on some trips to game studios. I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. And I think all of us would agree that that would be a really cool thing. And this sort of falls back into like my idea for socials. I think visiting game studios gives us a wonderful chance to see like the environment of the industry that we work in. And I want to thank you all for listening. Please vote Laurence Garcia for President, Secretary, and Treasurer. Have a great day, everyone. And next up will be Janista.
Wait, are there questions?
Do we have time for questions? Oh yeah, sure. Any questions?
Well, when you mentioned the in-person workshops, would there still be a digital portion like how we do these meetings right now in case we can't come to campus?
Yeah, I can both for general meetings and pretty much any meeting we plan on doing. I still intend on keeping the digital portion of it, just because I know this is a commuter school. It's very difficult for a lot of people to come to these meetings. I think still keeping the digital option is the way to go, and we'll be uploading our meetings to the YouTube channel as usual. Okay. Thank you for asking. Any other questions? All right, cool. Thank you very much. Google moment. All right. Cool.
I can pick this up.
Yeah, you can pick that up.
Okay, do the arrow keys work too?
Yeah, arrow keys work.
Okay, I'll probably just use those. All right, hello everyone. My name is Janista and I'll be your next speaker. So let's get right into it. So I'm pretty active in the club Discord as well as our game nights. But if you don't know me, my name is Janista. I'm the current public relations director of the club. I'm also a second-year computer science major, and I'm running for all offices of president, secretary, and treasurer. So just a little bit of fun facts about me just to get to know me. My birthday is actually International Women's Day. That means I was assigned girl boss at birth. That's why I'm like the biggest girl boss in the club. Yes, I am. Anyways, my favorite video game genre is RPG. Some big ones that I liked were Pokemon and Undertale, other things like that. I'm also unfortunately a Genshin player, but I'm excited for the Venti banner coming up. So great. I'm also into anime and manga. Usually shonen is my favorite type of genre. And I'm like looking forward to that Chainsaw Man anime coming out this year. I also, aside from games and manga, I'm into digital art. I usually do fan art of like whatever I'm into. Last semester, I was actually hired to illustrate an asset for an upcoming Finji game called I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. If you aren't familiar with Finji, they're the collaborative game studio / publisher that was known for publishing Night in the Woods and Tunic, which just released. I was also selected as an artist for the spring summer edition of Elements, an Avatar The Last Airbender fanzine. So then those are like my drawings over there on the side. So some of my experience in this club. As the director of public relations, I'm generally in charge of the public outreach and promotion of the club. I've also been the lead of some of our fun club events, such as the Survival Minecraft Build competition and the mascot design competition, which you may remember from last semester. I also assist in leading meetings and workshops. Most notably, I was the co-lead of the character design meeting and workshop. I've also had previous leadership experience as an officer of the California Scholarship Federation for a few years. I was also a participant of the 2021 Halloween Horror Jam for the team of The Box. And I was also a participant of last year's game pitch teams, Planetary Pursuits, and United We Stand. So you may be wondering, why should you vote for me? Well, as both an artist and a programmer, I'm passionate about multiple disciplines of game development, and I aspire to go into this field after graduation. My utmost priority is to give the club members the best experience I can in both gaining game dev experience, as well as having fun in the club. I'm also committed to improving upon the club with the insight that I've gained as an officer by applying my perspective behind the scenes as well as regularly taking into consideration the perspective of you guys, the general members. So what are my goals in office exactly? My first goal is collaboration. I aim for more partnership with other CPP clubs and possibly the other game development clubs of other universities. Communication, I want to engage more of the feedback of general members to give members of all types a better experience in the club. And concourse, I want to continue social events such as our tournaments, competitions, game nights. I also want to look into bringing back past events such as our game studio tours. So let's get into elaborating about these points now. So I aim to foster relationships with related clubs here at CPP, along with game development clubs at other universities in order to bring about more community engagement, collaboration, and valuable experiences. Recently, the officers at this club have been in contact with officers of other game dev clubs from like UCs, other Cal States, and just other universities in general. I recently created a contact sheet for those officers from those universities to fill in their information in hopes that in the future we can maintain contact and maybe have some more fun collaborations. I also want to look for more feedback concerning the experiences of general members in order to amend possible issues on your end rather than from our view as officers. So for example, I heard some feedback from one of our general members a while back about our club's organization and communication, that it was better last year than it was this year. And so I would want to work on that. We as officers would not be aware of that if we didn't get the feedback from general members. Another example would be the game pitch teams. Last semester, we had an all-time high, or not all-time high, but a historical high of how many game pitch teams we had. And so we had all sorts of members leading teams last semester, those who were experienced and those who were inexperienced and going into it blind. So what I want to know from you guys, the general members, is what could we as officers do to make this experience better for you? What can we do to make leading a team smoother? Like, can we assist those who are inexperienced and are going into it blind? And can we assist those who may have experience but are having trouble managing leading a large team or having trouble gaining members? That's what I want to know from you guys. I also want to maintain the friendly atmosphere we currently have where members can have fun and make friends, especially in this time where people want to meet others after having online school for years. This club, one thing I really like about this club is that you can very easily make friends just by like joining our game nights, you know, like randomly joining the voice channel when we're just hanging out in there and things like that. This club is mainly the reason why I have friends here at CPP. Like all my friends are from this club, and I want to be able to continue that, as well as bring back things like I mentioned, our game studio tours, you know, more competitions and tournaments, just to like foster that friendly atmosphere. And so that brings us to the end of my presentation. If you guys agree with what I have to offer and my goals, then I urge you all to please vote for me for office. As I've mentioned, I'm running for all three positions, the president, secretary, and treasurer. And with that, I hope you all have a great day, and I thank you for your time. Are there any questions? All right, no questions, it looks like.
Thank you very much, Janista. Next up, we'll be having Jasmine.
Do I just steal this mouse? Okay. Okay. Hi guys, my name is Jasmine Kann, and I'm running for secretary and treasurer. And before I start off my speech, I want you guys to know that I am among you guys. I am among you guys. I'm what? What am I? What am I? Yeah, what am I? Yeah. Anyways, let's get down to the nitty-gritty stuff. So my name is Jasmine Kann. I'm a first-year computer science major. You know, I've been like a game, Cal Poly game development fan for like about a semester, because I am like a first year. I'm like a huge Among Us anime nerd. I like Among Us. I like anime. You get the deal. And my favorite games are games that like break the fourth wall. Games that like, they grab me in. Stuff like Undertale, One Shot. Those games that kind of like they make me feel special. Okay, they make me feel special. Anyways, even though these are like some of my favorite stuff, you want to know what is like my favorite thing in the like out of everything. What's my favorite thing? You guys want to know? Yeah, you guys want to know. Basically, my favorite thing are you guys. Oh, wait. It's basically you guys. It's basically you guys. Anyway, you guys are my favorite things, or favorites in the world. Anyway, so I decided to run for secretary and treasurer. But why? Why, right? Why, Jasmine? Why are you deciding to run for it? The reason is because, I want to be involved in this club. Number one, the game development club is already PogChamp, super poggers, right? I love this club. This club is like, ever since I joined it, it was already, it made me feel very nice and warm and special. Number two, everybody in this club is very nice and sweet, and I love the people in this club so much. Like everybody else in the universe, I love this club a lot. And number three, I just like games, PogChamp. That's it. So experience that I have. So because I am a first year, I only have experience back in high school. But number one, I used to be the president of the esports club back in my high school. When we started the esports club at school, it was a startup. So we didn't already have a foundation. We had to build it up from scratch. And because of that, we had our board member, but we were because it was fairly new, we all had to help each other out. So even though I was the president, I would take a role and in charge of stuff I would take role in charge of also secretary and treasurer positions. Number two, I used to be the secretary at my church's youth group and the secretary at the STEM club back in my school. So after every meeting, I take notes and I take count of how many people were in the teams, at the meetings. And then I'd write down any events that they had planned and then would forward it to anybody who needed it. And the last thing, I used to be a big sister or a mentor for the Big Brother Big Sister program, which is basically like a mentor program where you mentor children, stuff like that. But I feel like I learned a lot of communication skills from it. And so I feel like it would give me a good, I have good communication skills to talk to anybody in the club or anybody outside the club. Anyways, my goals, number one, I think this is a poggers club, very PogChamp club. And I feel like because I have a very PogChamp out there personality, I feel like I would like to make this club more exciting and boom, 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 Number two, I want to bring a whole community of game lovers together, because there's a lot of people out there who love games, but they don't know the enjoyment of actually making the games too. So I feel like you could bring those people who play games into it and also find the joy in it. You feel me, brothers and sisters? And lastly, that's all my speech, but I just want you guys to know one last thing, that I am among you all. I am among you all. I'm what? One more time. Okay, that's it. That's it.
Amazing. All right, thank you, Jasmine.
Wait, what are you moving?
All right, next up, Princess. All right. Go ham. All right. Let's get it.
Good afternoon. I'm Miguel V. You may know me as the Club Princess, and I am running for secretary this year. So a little bit about me. I am currently a sophomore CS major, and you may know me because I'm one of the few people in the club with a pink with a pink name. I am the Club Princess. I am a programmer and musician, and I've worked on a couple of projects here at the Game Dev Club. As for the types of games I like, I'm a really big fan of the Fire Emblem series, and I'm also a casual Metroid speedrunner. I was actually last semester the team lead for the project United We Stand. As you can see from this image, I am Vice President Janista's bestie, and I'm also left-handed. And honestly, I take being left-handed way too seriously compared to what it is, but be like that. Anyways, the main reason that I'm running is because I am a passionate member of this club. I've been in this club since my first semester here, which was actually the first semester, which was the second semester that Cal Poly Pomona is fully online, fall 2020, and I went from being somewhat active to very active starting my second semester here, and I've had a really fun time. I'm very active on the Discord server and as well as in club activities. You might see how many times I've said rats in the server. I've also been parts of several semester team projects, and I'm a really big fan of this club. This club has done a lot for me. It has been, besides all the stuff that I've learned about Game Dev Club, I've also made a lot of friends here, and I really appreciate what this club has done for me, both knowledge-wise and socially. And I really want to pay it forward to these new members so that they can have the same kind of experience that I did. As for my experience, so again, I mentioned that I've been on a couple of semester teams. I've developed for Pathogen and for United We Stand. And I've developed for a couple of other projects as well. I technically provided assets to Cowboy Zelda, although they went unused. And I'm currently providing for music for 2 projects this semester. And I also participated in last year's Halloween Game Jam, where I provided code for the box. I also actually, even though I'm not an officer, I actually contributed to one of our previous workshops, the music and games workshop. I helped with research and scripting for Isabella. Honestly, I don't have too much leadership experience, but I think that this is a club that I can be passionate about, and I hope that I can make up for my lack of experience with, love and care. Some of the goals and improvements that I want for this club, of course, I want to keep this club running because the club is really fun. And, some of the things, the behind the scenes of running a club, whatever it is, are sometimes, things that the normal members don't see, sort of the boring work. But I do want to be able to put in the efforts for other people to enjoy this club as I have. I found that my new member experience was really, really good. I don't know if this is the same for everyone else, but whatever it is, I want to make sure that other people have this sort of really fun and really welcoming new member experience. And I want this to be the same no matter like what kind of person you are, no matter your race, gender, ethnicity, etc. I want to contribute to more workshops. Helping with the music workshop was really, really fun. And I've got a lot of knowledge from other workshops in the past. And I want to pay it forward. I want to help new people to gain more knowledge that they can use to succeed in game dev. And like all the others before me, I want to help organize other social events. Again, I found a really nice community within this club, and I want to help to continue fostering that community. And of course, I want to hopefully aid in the transition to more in-person events. COVID willing, I really hope that we'll be able to, of course, meet more in person for those of you who can make it. Of course, for those who can only make it online, I want to help maintain that. But for those who are able to participate in person, it would be really nice to start participating in things that can only happen in person. Like, as previously mentioned, the field trips to game studios and other sorts of in-person socials. This is all for my presentation. Thank you very much.
All right, next up we have Isabella. Got this. Slideshow.
Okay,
Just let Mike do its thing. All right,
cool,
here you go.
cool. Okay, wait.
It was this one to go forward and then scroll up to go back.
Okay, good. Great. Hi, I'm Isabella Kenton. So if you don't already know me, I am the current historian. So just a little bit more about me. I'm a second-year computer science major. I also love D&D and also will properly games. The good games right now are Minecraft, Sims, and Overwatch. So why am I running for secretary? Oops, okay. Okay, so this was my first year being very active in this club, and I loved it a lot. It was really amazing. So I'd love the chance to continue to help the club and be more involved. So as a current historian, I share a lot of responsibilities with our secretary. So I don't know if you've ever seen me in person, but I'm off on the side taking minutes, and make sign-in sheets and all that fun stuff. So I'm very confident in my abilities as a historian right now, and I want to take on more responsibilities as secretary. So I'm running for secretary because I know that my strengths are best suited for this position. So when I was in high school, I ran my own club. At the time, it was very small, so a lot of us had to share responsibilities. I worked with our president and our secretary. So what this meant is that I would take minutes, I made sign sheets, I planned all our meetings. We had this club foundation board that was similar to science council. I would go to their meetings, I would take notes, and I would report back to my club, tell them what we had to do and like how we could promote our club, stuff like that. I established an Instagram page and I ran it every week, and I maintained a good relationship with all our members and the club board. So I know that I can use these skills that I learned in high school to help be a great secretary here. So I am also a very organized person. I want to keep an organized system, and I know I'll be able to manage the files very well. I want to create a good filing system so that everything's together and nothing's left out loose. You can find everything very easy. I value time management a lot. I felt like being at time. So I think this will help me be a very good scheduler, and I can find us good classrooms for club rooms and any events we get to do in the future. So this year's club has been very well organized this year, and I'd like to help it keep that up and make it just as more organized. So stuff that I've done, or stuff that I'd like to do, is try and host more fundraisers for the club, and then some more events for members or paid members and stuff like that. Especially since COVID, we haven't been able to do a whole lot in person. And now that we're kind of are, I'd like to do more stuff, either hybrid or just online or whatever we can. So I participated in a couple of things here in the club. First one I did was a thing last semester was United We Stand. I did art. I also did stuff with bots, which was mentioned earlier. Right now I'm working on programming and art for Laurence. So I want to be able to dedicate as much time to this club as I possibly can to make this both fun and educational for everyone. So thank you for listening. I hope you vote for me.
Cool. Next up, we have Enzo. There you go. Got this.
Left click, right?
Yeah, left click.
Okay. All right. The first action of a newly elected official or board member is always one that's looked on with great curiosity and apprehension. It's the beginning of a new chapter of a governing body, and of course, it's always an exciting time. When I was first elected as a board member last year, my first action was to accidentally post a YouTube video to our announcement channel. What made it worse was that all of the board members were also on a call with me. And our previous president, Celine, even came and kicked me from the call for a bit. But this year, if I'm elected, my first action won't be a blunder. Rather, I will move the club to being a more interactive, inclusive, and innovative experience. My name is Enzo Cabrera, and this year I'm running for president, treasurer, and secretary. Before I talk more about my vision for the club, I should introduce myself further. So my name is Lorenzo, or Enzo Cabrera, and I'm a current third-year CS major and also writing studies minor. Shout out to all the English majors out there. I just turned 21, so party time. And right now I'm the current treasurer of the GDC club here at CPP. And here are also some fun emotes in the club Discord that either were made by me or relate to me. I really want this club to be a place where people aren't afraid to like reach out to board members or talk with people they've never met before. So I want to go into my interests a little more. So I love making art. Here's a not so humble plug of my art Instagram. As well as this, I love performing. I love singing and dancing. I love putting myself out there. I really love taking risks to like better myself. So this is me performing with a dance company here at school called Inner Essence. And I'm actually the one in the middle. This is from a performance we did just this last weekend. As well as this, I want to prove that I actually am a gamer. I can't be the president if I'm not a gamer, right? So here's some examples of me playing in fighting game tournaments here at CPP. And as well as this, I just want to talk about some of my favorite anime and manga. Love Gundam, love Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and some of my other favorite manga on the side. So what makes me a good candidate for presidency or also to be reelected for treasurer and or secretary? Well, I have a lot of experience managing this club. I'm the current treasurer of the game development club, so I know all the different managerial stuff that happens in the background. As well as this, I have access to all the finances of the club, so I understand really well the types of events we can and can't do. And because of this, I'm really excited for this next year for all the events that we can do. And as well as this, I have a lot of experience in game development. This next year will be my 3rd year in the game development club, so I've been around for a while. My actual game dev experience, my first project was I team led, it was named Orange Skies. It was a 2D platformer. As well as this, I was a team member for other 2D games like Pathogen and United We Stand, which were led by Jordan and Miguel respectively. And something that's not as well known in the club, I actually made another game for my game development class called Cosmic Sheep, which was a 3D on Rails shooter. And right now I'm also in a VR development senior project. So I have a lot of different experience in game development, from 2D to 3D to even VR, which I hope to bring more into this club in the future. Here's some of my work. I must say that these sprites here, I didn't make them. I made the animations for them. Shout outs to Janista and Sam for making the original sprites. But I really love animation, specifically pixel animation. If you don't know, I actually led one of the workshops last semester along with GitHub workshop and writing and games workshop. So I just want to show off some of my work. As well as that, I have screenshots from Cosmic Sheep, the game that I worked on during my game development class, to show that I can work in lots of different mediums of game development. So why am I running for presidency? What's my vision for the game development club? So I want to create a more interactive and inclusive game development club. I'm really proud of everything that we've done this year. I feel like we grew not just in size, but like also in content in the last year, especially facing the conditions that we did. So I want to create, in the next year, as we move more online, I want to create an environment where people are more interactive with each other and have more like hands-on events for us to do. So this includes making socials for members, creating more interactive workshops, whether it be like actually in person, or maybe I could lead a VR workshop. And as well as this, I plan on hosting events that promote bonding between members. So you don't have to feel like you're stuck to just your team that you can talk to. You can talk with other people throughout the club. As well as this, I'd like to possibly bring some VR development to our club, using my experience. And I just got an Oculus, which would be fun. I plan on hopefully leading a game in VR soon. My goals for the next year are to promote hands-on learning. So this is specifically like VR and like more interactive games, because I really love teaching. I was a tutor back in high school. I've taught workshops, so I really want this to be a really good learning experience for people and for a place for people to take risks to do what they love. As well as that, I want to interact more with different clubs. I'm really close with the esports club. I know a lot of their board members and like their community members. So I'd like to like host more competitions with them, or perhaps reach out to other clubs and do more interaction with them. As well as this, I'd like to increase interaction with all the members. I really love this community. I think it's really welcoming. And I think it's just something we should lean more into as we open up and become a more physical space on campus. Finally, I want to give some tools that make development easier for club members. So I want to give our members like software licenses rather than them having to use like free software during our workshops. And I want to increase the workshops for different skill sets, because I feel like we sort of like gravitate a bit towards more of the CS side, but I want to like see all the different disciplines that are available in the club. So when I first became a team lead 2 years ago, I honestly wasn't the best lead. I was really helped along by a lot of the great members of this club. But using my 2 years of experience now, I hope to lead the club with the mindset of teaching that it's okay to make these mistakes, because you'll learn and grow from them. And I want this to be a club where people are not afraid to take risks to grow. While I may have made some mistakes in the past, starting out through these experiences, I know what I can do to push our club to grow even further than it has before. I hope for your vote in both president, treasurer, and secretary. But I also hope that we'll continue to grow and prosper as a club, and it's something that only you can do. Thank you. As I was planning our budget for this year, since we actually had to turn in our budget recently, I specifically laid out more budget for us to attend socials, like going to like round one. So I really want this to be a place like in other clubs or like on my dance team where we all get together after events and stuff. And like, it doesn't even have to be like a paid place. We can just go like have a picnic or something. I think that's really important for us since we've been so like interaction starved for the past few years. I think that's something I really want to lean into if I were to become president.
All right, last but not least, Sam. You want to hold the mic?
Yeah. Thank you. All right, you guys. So I actually want to start by saying that I'm really proud of everyone who decided to run this year. All of you guys, I've met you guys this year, but it's honestly so great to see so many people trying to run for elections this year, see how qualified and how passionate about everyone is about game development. And it's just something that I'm super proud of. And honestly, thank you guys for, being part of this club. So I just wanted to say that real quick. So hi, I'm Sam, or you can call me Sammy. I'm Sammy Mac. If you ever see me on Discord, if my name isn't changed to whatever weird theme we're doing in the Discord server. So I'm currently a third-year CS major. I'm also a VCD or Visual Communication Designs minor. I took that up this semester. I used to be the 2020 and 2021 treasurer, and I am also currently the 2021 and 2022 president. So I've been a member since 2019. That was the year before COVID started. So I've been in this club for 3 years. So next year is going to be my 4th year. A couple of background about me. So I really want to be a game developer. So growing up, I played a lot of video games with my brothers, my older brothers, and they really introduced me to all of the types of video games that I could enjoy. And ever since then, I've always wanted to make my own video games. So video games always combined my love for art, music, and writing, but there was always that one extra thing with programming that I was always struggling with, but I think I'm getting better at that recently. So a couple of games I've developed outside of the club I've actually have here listed are Soul and Luna, which actually won a game jam, and Heart of the Abyss, which was one that we did, I think, a couple weeks ago. We worked really hard on both of those games. And something that I really want to note about both of those games is that I worked as the team lead for both of those game jams. So I was not helping just with like the programming, but I was also talked to about the art direction and the music direction. So I think that's a really important aspect when looking at a leader, seeing what you could approach to them and see what kind of ideas you could bring to them so that they could flesh it out in the game. So why should I become president again? So I'm very passionate about game development and this club in general. Because of this passion, I want to share this experience of the club to other potential members to garner an interest in the game development field. I also want to highlight the different skills that our members have, not just programming and not just art, music. I want to emphasize all of those things. I think one thing that was sort of my mission statement this year was to make sure that everyone was a well-rounded game designer, that not only were we efficient in programming, but we were also efficient in art, music, and writing. So I actually want to do a kind of a retrospective of this past year. Again, I've been in this club for 3 years now as the president. And well, president for the past year, not president for 3 years. But again, like I said earlier, I'm very proud of where we are as a club, especially through the hardships of quarantine and other difficult and trying times. I want to further the club's development in aspects such as activities, socials, and events. I think that's something that everybody really wanted to work on. And I think that's a point that everybody brought in this year, especially since COVID restrictions are getting lighter. I really want to make it easier for us to make socials. And again, like what everyone said, most of my friends here in college are made through this club. So I want everyone to have that same opportunity. I also want to put more emphasis on practical work, such as by game jams or by doing more in-person workshops, as well as professional applications with visiting game studios and having guest speakers. So last year, my goal was to make the club more inclusive and fun for its members. But this year, my new goal is to create more opportunities for club bonding and collaborations. That's what I was mentioning earlier again about the activities, events, and socials. For the collaborations, that's not just like within the club, but that's also outside with other clubs and with other activities and also other companies, such as with the game studios.
So as your leader, I promise to commit myself to you. So through trials and tribulations, I want to raise this club higher than it was before. I know it says once I am elected, but I was elected previously. So if I am reelected, I want to promise myself to you that you guys will be my priority. So why me? So again, as I said previously, I was the treasurer and I'm the current president. I have leadership experience through leading this club, as well as working on team leads for game pitches and game jams. As far as the game pitches, I was the lead for Planetary Pursuits last year. I may not be as fluent in programming. I'm a little bit more fluent now, as the years go by, but I'm confident in my other skills, such as art, music, and writing, that I could bring a new perspective to this club. So some changes to the club. Like I said earlier, I promise to bring in more events and activities for all people, members and non-members to enjoy. Again, I want this club not just to be like a fun thing for game development, but a fun thing just to hang out with like friends. So you guys can invite other people outside of the club as well. As we finally make our way out of dark times, I want to open our club to more members and create fun ways to collaborate with one another as well. Thanks for listening. I'm an Acerola looking MF. One more thing, meme. Here are all the memes I've ever made in this club. Here are all of them. Some of them are NSFW, that's fine. But I made all of these memes thanks to our wonderful officers. And yeah, here's a pose of me in front of my memes. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. All right, other than that, thank you so much for listening. And again, thank you to everyone who's like attending and everyone who's running for elections. Good luck to everyone.
Sam, so how this is gonna work is we'll send out the election form as soon as I upload the recording onto Zoom. For those who came in late or those who left early, actually, if you left early, you're not here. Just realize that. You can go check out the video. I should be placing timestamps in my next class period instead of actually doing class for all of the people who ran for elections. Thank you very much and have a. Oh, okay, yeah. Also, something that you may have seen on the server recently, there is a Humble Bundle available for $40. You get like a bunch of games with it, and all of the proceeds go to Children for Ukraine. So thank you very much. So go check that out. And
If you guys are interested, the bundle does include 1 year of Game Maker Studio 2. If you guys are interested in using that game engine, I believe it also comes with a lot of other game developing assets. If you guys are interested, you can do like a minimum of 20.
all right, cool. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day.
So what are you gonna do if you're chosen as president again? Because you